just shadow. Oh, wait, I need coffee.
No?
Okay, we can start now. Have coffee. Good morning, friends. Welcome to our Lakeview Heights Baptist sort of podcast coffee talk. We call it Coffee Talk. This is a podcast-ish that we try and just make connection and we try and give some information. But welcome. We almost started today without coffee, so now we're good. You don't have to have coffee. You can have tea. You can have whatever you need. We use it as a connection point, and so we were glad and thankful that you are connecting with us this morning. And it's after Christmas. Mm-hmm. It took a long time, it seems, to get there, and then now, now it's done, and now we're here on the other side, and now it's real life and decisions and cleanup.
Not quite yet. We're not to the new year yet.
Okay,
I feel like
okay.
we just kind of
that's true.
Live in the holiday mode for two.
You still get to just hang out, eat some pie, have some, play some board games. I feel like that's what you can still do. So let's calm down, Kevin. So thanks for hanging out with us. We realize we're kind of on this side of Christmas, but through our Christmas series, we actually did what we called the Songs of Christmas. And we focused in on some of these songs that we see in Scripture, where people kind of just burst out with praising God or proclaiming something, or even in some cases prophecy. And so this last week we talked about a couple of those. We actually had because we had two services on Sunday on Christmas Eve. We talked about Simeon, and we also talked about Isaiah. Some kind of interesting, cool songs. Okay, so you were asking a question earlier. What's some Christmas songs even that we always remember, either growing up with, or what's Christmas songs that we always come back to? What's yours?
Well, growing up, I think we had one Christmas record. It was vinyl.
What's a record?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding.
It's this disc, and we put it on at Christmas time. It was Johnny Mathis Christmas, and so he would sing some of the traditional carols. And that. So anytime that comes on, I have a little bit of nostalgia around decorating and around, I don't know, coming home after school and having Christmas cookies or something. And it was just it's funny how songs are so nostalgic.
So that was growing up. What about now?
Now, there's a couple albums that Cheryl will put on. I think one is Amy Grant. Christmas, and then. But
you have to also combine that with Michael W. Smith Christmas.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good.
I don't know if it's the same one. Is that like I think she has one, and then there's one with him. I think, because I don't remember hearing his voice on it when we listened to it. But yes, that would be the same genre, I guess. I guess they're all Christmas, but then there's another one. I can't think of it, but we play it like she plays it every Christmas, and now I'm like feeling really bad because she's probably going to play it a lot.
You keep thinking, because when I think of Christmas growing up, it was always Boney M, or we had a record, and it was like it had a picture on it in the vinyl. It was Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas, and so it was just them singing these Christmas time.
But you're not doing the voice right. You gotta
too early in the morning. But that was growing up. Now it's like it's some of the other things. I always look back. I always love listening to like the crooners. So for sure Michael Bublé, but Sinatra and Dean Martin and Nat King Cole and Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, like all of that kind of. And then for a little while, I actually tried every Christmas to actually listen to the Hallelujah chorus, because I have it on a record.
Do you?
And I have a record player. Yeah. So I would kind of just sit there in the evening, listen to it, flip it over, and it was just this thing. It's not been a thing the last couple of years though.
Have you been to a concert or I don't know, what do they call a gathering to listen to the Hallelujah chorus? Is that an orchestra or is it a concert?
It can be a combination, but it's kind of a cantata, right? So it's like.
Have you been to a live
Yeah, I also was in one a couple of years.
You were in one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So at
That's really
Parkhurst
cool.
we did that as well too, at Christmas and at Easter as well too.
So I remember being at one, and I don't know if it was the whole thing, but it was really beautiful. But it was funny because the main singer, one of the main singers, his pants didn't fit right, so we were just distracted by his pants in this beautiful.
Too tight or too big?
It was just weird. I don't know. It's like, okay, something's wrong here. Like either this guy, I don't know. It's just the pants didn't work. So
He just kept it straight.
I don't know. But I feel so bad because that's ingrained in my memory because I was in college, right? And so you laugh about silly stuff,
That's true.
but it was beautiful. I just remember, wow, like I need to listen to it more. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful. And so like these are some of the songs of Christmas that we reflect on. But even looking back, at Simeon and Isaiah, and like these songs that kind of come out of them, and they're able to kind of just proclaim something. Like Simeon is a huge one. Not only does he is in that sense of waiting, but then he has this like song of glory, and then mixed in with almost a little bit of prophecy as well too, right? Like that one always kind of caught me because it's like he was there at the perfect moment that God had this specific moment that he was waiting and waiting and waiting for, right?
And his only role in the story is to show up, proclaim this about Jesus, and then we don't hear about him again. And, and he's only known by who he is. Like that was what was really so challenging. I kind of mentioned it on Sunday.
What specifically does it say?
Well, just that he was righteous and devout. It doesn't say whether he's a priest or whether he was, what he was just there. He was righteous and devout, and he walked with the Spirit. And the Spirit 3 times, he, talks about the Spirit revealed to him. He led by the Spirit. Like 3 times it talks about the Spirit in the passage with him. So as I pondered that, I thought, what a better way to be known for anybody than by your character and walking with the Spirit. Like, I mean, I think of Enoch, right, in the Old Testament. He walked with God and then he was no more, right? Like, wow. Like, these are some of the characters we don't really think about much, but how much better could you be known,
Like it's like you saying, every time anybody says Jeff's name, or like, in the Horse and His Boy,
the Narnia series you're talking about.
Yes, the Narnia series. Remember, there's that one king or their god, right? Like that this foreign god that they say, the Tisroc, may he be praised. And every single time you say his name, you got to add this little phrase. Jeff Gates, he's pretty awesome. Every single time you say Jeff Gates, he is awesome. You have to add that in whenever you say Jeff Gates.
Let's be clear.
He is awesome.
We're not trying to do that here.
No, but like that's kind of what you're saying. Like every time somebody thinks about you,
like a Simeon,
like a Simeon. Every time somebody thinks of
right?
that person, he is righteous and devout,
and walks with the Spirit,
right? And walks with the Spirit, right? Like, could you imagine being known for that? And obviously, he was still a man; he was still human, whatever. And I love where you said, "Man, that's really cool to be known for that." But he's still not the hero of that story. And I think that's a very significant point about that as well, too, because in some ways, Jesus is not necessarily a character in that story.
Yeah, he's just
he's just kind of accessory, right? And so,
well, he's central, but he's the baby, right? That's picked up and held, but that's the word.
But in some ways, you almost kind of forget that little baby Jesus is there, and yet he is actually the focus of this little group that's happening. And we don't know all the specifics around it, but the fact that he came and saw and touched and like that was amazing, and that he lived with that sense of purposefulness and walking in the Spirit. That's a really big deal. I wonder too if that him walking in the Spirit was also what made his eyes open and ready to see this is the Messiah.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, because what would distinguish this baby from any other baby he didn't wear a crown or anything. They weren't rich. They were just there.
Yeah.
Which probably other families doing the same thing, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty interesting.
So we invite you to maybe even just go back and have a look and have a listen. You can find it on our Spotify playlist, our Spotify podcast, the sermons from the last couple of weeks as well. It's a great series to go through and to listen and to focus in on, or you can go to our YouTube channel. It's LHB space church. You can find us on there and kind of reflect on some of those things as well too. Speaking of the songs of Christmas too, I was thinking about this the other day. Do you remember COVID? Do you remember this thing? It's called COVID.
Yeah.
When we couldn't do a lot of stuff, I thought, okay, what can I do? Mm-hmm. So I did 25 songs in 25 days, and so I did one song every day from December 1st all the way to Christmas Day, and there's a few of those that actually kind of jumped out back at me, even this last year, that actually popped into my feed as well too. So there was some songs of Christmas that motivated me, and it wasn't just me. It was Mike and Lori and Ursula and some others, and so thanks to them for doing that. So
that was great.
You can always go and check those things out. Anything happening in the next little bit? It's New Year's coming up.
Well, we have our Sunday morning service on Sunday, which is New Year's Eve, and so we'll be talking a little bit about ending that well and going into the new year. That looks like a little bit, and then next week is New Year's week. So life groups will start the next week again, and at least I think that's what most life groups have said. So we'll get back into life groups. We'll start a new sermon series, and we'll just be praying for God to reveal what's next. I mean, walk by the Spirit as Simeon did, right? That could characterize LHBC. Wouldn't that be amazing? That's a church that lives by the Spirit. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So we encourage you as you end this year, as you come to church on Sunday, be focusing and reflecting on these things as we head into the new year, and we want to bless you on your way. There's not a lot obviously happening, but the office is still open this week from 9 till noon, and then next week kind of back to regular office hours, 9 till noon all week long, with all of our staff in next week. So blessings on you. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you Sunday.